Hello, welcome back to part 2 of the two-handed Dragonknight video. Alright, this video will cover the things that we missed the last time and the things that I didn't have time to get around to. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with skills. Under skills, you'll find that the second ultimate that I failed to mention the last time will be Flawless Dawnbreaker. Flawless Dawnbreaker gives you 5,000 magic, 6,000 additional over time, and 60% increase against Daedra and Undead. But the point of using this is the 8% additional weapon damage to your slotted bar. All your abilities will get additional 8% damage. Of course, you want to put it on your primary attack bar. Your secondary attack bar will get with the other ultimate. You'll also notice that I pulled on Steel Tornado. Steel Tornado is a really good ability, and it's really good for clearing trash. This is a Under Geared Explorer within Orsinium. Therefore, as an Under Geared Explorer and a two-handed Dragonknight, you're probably going to spend some time solo, and you're probably going to be in a lot of dungeons or solo dungeons where there's going to be a lot of spiders or other annoying things that don't take a lot of damage, but there's a lot of them. This works really well for that. Alright, now we're going to go back to another little tidbit is gear. Under apparel, the last time I spoke about having 5 pieces of medium and 2 whatever else, I prefer 7 pieces, but if you were to do 5 pieces of medium, I would recommend putting them in certain points. Look at the armor ratings: 2084, 1823, 1823, 1042, 1823, 1823, and 781. So if you were to use 5 pieces of medium and 2 pieces of heavy, you'd want those 2 pieces of heavy to be in the slot where you get the most additional armor gain from the heavy armor. In other words, you'd want to put it in the chest piece and somewhere else heavy, like the legs. If you were to use a 1 piece heavy, 1 piece light, you would want the heavy in the, of course, chest piece, and the light in the spot that you would get the least amount of loss, which will of course be the belt, because it's only 781 to begin with. And then, if you were to do 2 pieces of light, for example, you'd probably want to pick the belt and the gauntlets. Alright, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and go over to our actual champion points. Under the green, we'll start with a tower. Under you actually do Warlord, max out Warlord, and then whatever is left after you max out Warlord, put in Mooncalf. Stamina reduction is superior to stamina regen for this build. There are passives in both these trees, but there's nothing really in there worth mentioning. Next, when you go to red, equal parts Hardy and Elemental Defender would be what I'd recommend until you get 60-60, 120. Once you get to equal parts, the reason is you want equal is one's Flames, Frost, and Shock, and one is Poison, Disease, and Magic. You don't want a weak point. This will provide equal resistance to all. One of the reasons to do this is for the passives as well. The passives here is 3,465 Magicka when you take Flame, Frost, Shock, Magic, Earth, or Oblivion damage equivalent to 30% of your health, 98 health when you're hit by a critical, 330 health when you deal a critical, and reduces the stamina cost of abilities by 80% for 3 seconds after breaking free of stuns, knockdown, fears, disorients, or staggers. Good ability for PvE, definitely. Whatever is left, I would put into medium armor focus. Since you have 5 pieces of medium armor or more, you can use this skill. Now, you could prefer to put it in spell shield if for whatever reason you still think you don't have enough spell resist. That's personal preference, and if you wish to go that way, that's completely up to you. Now we're going to go into the blue, which is the damage area. We're going to do enough into piercing to get about 10% arm pen, and then to put the rest in the mighty. Once you do that, you'll get the perks within this tree, which are excellent. You will get Opportunist, which is 15% damage on the next target after your interrupt, or next attack after next interrupt. You can tell I'm tired. Perfect Strike, increase your weapon critical rating by 12%. Exploiter, increase your damage against off-balance weapon enemies by 10%. And Last Stand, when you fall below 20% major, 20% health, gain major heroism, which grants 18 ultimate over 8 seconds. Now, whatever's left, you're going to go and put it into Blade Expert. Blade Expert increases your flat damage for your swords and daggers and two-handed swords, which again is just more damage. Now, there is an option. I haven't tested it yet. You could go down here and put it into axes and maces in heavy weapon. The axes gives you a bleed over time, but it's a percentage chance. It's more reliable to have flat damage, but maces do have a flat arm pen. If you were to put it into this one and have them 20% arm pen of the maces from the passive from the two-handed weapon tree, I would go over here and not use piercing. Instead, I would put the points from piercing into precise strikes. Since you're already getting 20% arm pen, you might as well get increased damage off your criticals. And if your damage is over, if you have over, say, 50% critical, 60% critical, I don't know what the exact math is on that, precise strikes is better in many ways anyway. Okay, now that we're done with that, that's pretty much the rest of the tips, and it's late night, so I'm going to call it early. I thank you very much, and wave goodbye, Svetlana. Goodbye.